How's it going today, guys? Welcome back to the Rapway Homestead. So today we're going to take care of a big problem. We had a storm come through. I don't know, honestly, it's been a couple weeks now since this happened, and I just haven't had time to deal with it. So if you can see here behind me, it's kind of hard to tell, but right in the middle of the yard, we had a tree fall out of the woods line into our yard. Now, by itself, not that big of a deal. It's just a tree that fell down. Happens all the time. The problem with this particular tree is it fell, I don't even know if you can see here, let's flip you around. It fell directly onto our propane tank for the shop. So that's obviously not good. We got really lucky that it wasn't just a little taller or hit a little different, because that would have fallen or could have tipped over this tank. It's not really strapped down, it's just sitting on block. And it's fairly empty, so it's not that heavy right now. So at the base of the tree here, it looks like it had broken off. You can see right there, but the actual main trunk is hard to tell, but it's actually pretty big. So I think the top broke off, and that kind of weakened the tree. Now, unfortunately, this tree isn't a very, well, it's not a very desirable tree, and it's definitely not very desirable for firewood. It's some form of ironwood. Kind of just a junk, scraggly tree, honestly. Most of the trees around our property, or a lot of them, are this ironwood. Basically, this is old pasture land, I think, that just grew up, and that's kind of what you get, is just junk, unfortunately. But so we're not going to be saving everything for firewood. I will be cutting the bigger chunks, and we'll be saving them. But anything, that's not real big, we'll probably just be getting rid of. So that's going to make this a little quicker, because I am not going to be like cutting it into little pieces. I'm hoping to leave most of the branches into bigger chunks, hook onto them with the tractor, and just drag them all to the brush pile and just push them on top. Try to just get this taken care of as quick as possible, dice up the wood we can, and call it good. I got other stuff to do today, so we're just going to knock this out. It's a big eyesore, and I want to get it off that propane tank. I don't know how much pressure is pushing on that tank. I'm going to have to be careful as I remove the tree, obviously. Not that it shifts and pushes on the tank and knocks it over, because that'd be really bad. I don't know what happens if a propane tank gets knocked off or tips, but my guess is tears the copper line that runs up to the shop and probably leaks propane everywhere, and it's probably really bad. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. I'll set you guys up and fire up the chainsaw. I think we're just going to bust out the big saw today. Let's knock it out and get after it. Gotta take you guys back here and get a good before. This is gonna be transformation, so you can see where the edge of the grass is supposed to be. It always has kind of come out a little bit right here. I'd like to push that back, but there's a bunch of junk in there we need to clean up. But it should more come through here. You can see where the tree is. So yeah, kind of a little bit of a before. Well, let's get cutting. All right, let's get the old Husqvarna fired up here. Get to work. This thing starts in 3 pulls every time. Doesn't matter. If I could take the choke off quick enough, it'll stay running. there's a start, and we'll get this stuff drug out of the way so we can keep working in. The one branch is pretty high. I think we're gonna have to get it from the other side, but we'll see. Didn't really realize it before, but there's a big giant vine growing up this tree. I don't know if you guys have any experience with cutting up vines, but they will wrap up in your chain and in your driver gear and rip out your, well, what happened to me one time is it tore out my oiler gear. It's like a plastic driver that runs the oiler, and it wasn't getting any oil, so you gotta be careful for that. This vine looks big enough. I'm hoping I can just cut it at the base and rip it out of there, but we'll see. We've had vines taken over the place lately. They're everywhere. I don't know what the deal is all of a sudden, but we'll do some more cutting. right, so we're making some darn good progress. We found our propane tank, that's good. And you can see we're widening her out pretty good. So most of the stuff now, we've got some bigger logs and branches, but a lot of it now is just little brush stuff. So I'm gonna grab our little 2200 Bobcat, little side-by-side with the dump bed, and we'll just start throwing some of this little brush and junk in there. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be keeping any of this wood. Maybe some out of the big trunk base, but the other branches and stuff are just so gnarly and twisted that they'll be a nightmare to split in the splitter. It's just going to get stuck. This stuff doesn't burn worth a crap anyway, I don't think, so it's not even worth messing with. I'm just going to haul it all out to the junk, call it good. Like I said, I'll probably chunk up that the big log laying back there. That's a pretty big diameter log, so we'll get some decent pieces out of that. But otherwise, it's just junk. We're going to try to round out this corner a little bit, get rid of some of this stuff, actually kind of bump our yard over a little bit. There's so much garbage in the woods. Once we get it to that point, I'll show you guys. It's the people that lived here before us. Well, I don't think it was before us, but, you know, it was an old farmstead or old homestead, and they just, everything they had they didn't want, they just chucked out into the woods. So there is cinder blocks and glass and bottles and just trash. And, you know, technically speaking, my property line is like right here, maybe even a little this way. Real good friends with the neighbor here. He don't mind. I can pretty much do what I want. He'd love it if I cleaned it up. And then it's just a little chunk of woods and then a big lowland swamp before his property. He owns a couple hundred acres behind us. But yeah, so we'll just keep going, clean up some of this little stuff, start throwing it in the back of the little Bobcat and see what we can do. We're getting somewhere though. All right, let's fire up the chainsaw and we'll nip some of this other stuff out. Excuse me. And I might throw the landscape rake on the tractor and we'll try to drag some of this crap out of here, but we'll see. We'll see how carried away we want to get. But we're going to start by cutting some of this stuff out and trying to make this look a little bit better. I think that's looking pretty good. You know, really, it'd be nice to clear all that. But again, that's not really mine to clear, for one. And for two, you got to stop somewhere. I mean, where do you quit? So I think we're going to call that good for now. Throw this stuff in the little Bobcat. And yeah, it's looking good. I don't know what these are, but they are full of thistle. Spikes. I think I'm going to move this ahead, come in here with the tractor and try to scoop up this old rotten brush pile. So you ever sometimes just get a little carried away? Yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but... Oh yeah, you can see them. Bees. Lots of bees. They are not happy with me. So it turns out in the base of this tree that we've just been cutting on is full of yellow jackets. I am so glad I didn't just get lit up by bees in the tractor. I don't know for sure where they're at, but as you can see, I got a little carried away. So I just decided to take this whole side and push it back. We don't need that no more. Unfortunately, though, I wanted to bust that stump out, and in that stump is the tool I wanted to show you. We're still going to show you, but it might have to wait a little while. I wish I could tell where these guys are coming in. I might spray it with some killer and try to kill them bees off, because I want to finish this job, and the next step is to mow it. I was going to take the time and drag the brush hog through here, or not the brush hog, but the landscape rake, but I don't really see a point. It's all pretty much picked up, and I have to throw the brush hog on the tractor for tomorrow anyway, so I figure might as well just wait, and we'll just mow it, and it'll just mulch all that little stuff up, and we'll call it good. So I think I'm going to wait just a little while to do that, but on this video, you'll see this finished product. We might just have to hold off a little bit, because I don't feel like getting attacked by a million yellow jackets that are currently very upset with me. All right, they said I wasn't going to use the landscape rake, but I figured in order to do the best job possible, I might as well. So this is just a landscape rake by Heavy Hitch. The one that just plugs right into the 2-inch receiver right around the back of the tractor. I like it. It's all right. It's not as heavy duty as I wish it was. As you can kind of tell, I've got it kind of bent already, but that could be operator error, just using a little too hard. But what we're going to do is we're going to take it and try to just rake through this. So you can see there's just a bunch of little sticks. Obviously, it's not going to take that out. I want to make sure there's nothing in there. Try to stay away from our bee friends. But we'll just rake up all these little sticks, get this out of the way, and kind of finish cleaning this up a little bit. Alright, it's looking awesome. So you can see the ground's pretty soft. That landscape rake just want to tear it up. So did some, but we'll leave it alone. We'll fire up the little deer, the 445. Get this mowed up at least as close as I feel like getting to the bees. And take a look at the final product. Well, that's quite the improvement, huh? From what it was before to what it is now. Let's do a before and after. So this is what it looked like before. Can't even tell there's a propane tank under there. As you can see, totally overgrown. And this is what it looks like now. Propane tank looks like it's sitting out in the middle of the yard. We cut way back in. Once them bees calm down, we'll get the brush hog out and we'll clean that up. But for today, this is gonna be good enough. This project took longer than I was expecting. Let me show you that thing I was telling you about. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to dig it out because the bees own it right now, but let's take a look. All right, this is about as close as I feel comfortable getting without getting stung by the billions of bees that are around there, as you can see. But that guy, where's my finger? That guy right there is a triangle with teeth on both sides. It's got a long handle that grew down into the tree, or the tree grew around it, I should say. I thought those were used for fencing, somehow used for fencing. But I'm really not sure what it is. It looks like a prying tool. I thought you like wrap the wire around there and pry it against a post to pull your fence tight, but I honestly don't know. You guys tell me if you know what that is. I'm curious. I am going to be digging it out of there because whatever it is, it looks pretty cool. It's probably not as exciting as I think it is, but hey, it's kind of neat to me. And we'll get it out of there and we'll take a peek, and then we'll really tell what it is. Maybe it's got a name brand on it or something. Maybe it's worth money. Maybe it's an antique. I doubt it. But we got to let these bees chill out. I'm hoping they just move on. I'm hoping I wreck their house enough they just move on and hopefully go somewhere not in my yard. But yeah, that's what we accomplished for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today, watching me work. Maybe sipped a cold beverage while I was getting the work done here. But yeah, so next time I've got a video. We're going to be doing a bunch of brush hogging. We got a bunch of mowing to do around here, a bunch more tractor content. So if you like that kind of thing, smash that subscribe button. Jump on in here and trying to catch videos every Sunday. So until next time, you guys, you have a good one.